Are the Padres better than the Giants?
So far, it looks that way.
After the break, Ed interviews Nick Lee from FriersOnBase.com.
Hey, great baseball PhD San Diego. Hello to Nick Lee from the great website of FriersOnBase.com. How are you?
I'm doing great, and how about you?
Well, you've been a patient San Diego Padres fan. For the past 3-4 years, you've been watching the Dodgers, and you've been watching the Giants, and maybe even the Diamondbacks. My gut is this is going to be a fun year compared to the last 5. What's your perception?
Oh, man, it's about dang time. It's actually been more than 3 or 4 years. It's been since 2007 when Matt Holliday really didn't touch home plate in Game 163.
Oh, geez.
We've been waiting. It's about time.
Well, right now, to me, I'm standing here in Cleveland, Ohio. It feels good. It feels like the additions that you guys made in the off season are producing. There were many years you had a good pitching staff and no offense. You've got some offense.
Oh, absolutely, and it's one of the best offenses we've seen in a long time here. Granted, it's 15 games into the season,
Sure.
But this has been one of the best starts we've ever seen in San Diego. And just it's great to see not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of the additions, but every single one of the additions A.J. Preller brought in has contributed in some way. It's been really fun to watch so far.
Everybody's rowing in the same direction.
Right, and that's exactly what we've needed here. We just needed some flow and some leadership, and that's really lacked in the past few years.
No, I agree, and I've seen those like Ben-Hur movies. They got the Roman slaves rowing in the same direction, and the boat starts to move. Of all the additions that San Diego made in the offseason, what's the top 2?
The top 2? Oh, that is a tough pick. I want to say one of those has to be Matt Kemp. I mean, just
yes,
from his leadership, his experience, just his credentials on the field. I mean, he should have won MVP that year that Braun won it, and he's been in the playoffs. He's been in those situations. He's been one of the top hitters in the league, and seeing him just lead this team. I mean, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's getting his uniform dirty.
Right.
I don't know what the Dodgers were talking about his bad hips and arthritis and all that stuff. I don't see any of that. I'm seeing energy and just leadership that we've lacked for so long, and so he's got to be up there, probably number 1, I would say.
And hopefully
and
that'll add to the rivalry between the Padres and the Dodgers.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. They kind of – it sounded like they were trying to sell us a broken car here. And
right.
It's definitely panned out so far. So
right.
I'm not complaining about that. And, yeah, we're looking forward to this weekend when we face off at our place.
Right. So what's number 2?
Number 2. I would have to say James Shields.
Right.
Because, we of course, we've had great pitching in the past, and he might not get 20 wins, might not have an ERA below 250 and get 210 strikeouts, but he's a bulldog. And it's a cliche, but that's what he is. He definitely is leading the staff. I mean, there was an interview he did right before the season started where he said he wants the 5 pitchers in the Padres rotation to combine for 1,000 innings. Like, it's just a competition.
Wow.
He's leading. And he's really charismatic. The thing I love about him and Matt Kemper, they're both very fun-loving, loose guys, and people listen to them. And you can tell that the younger players on our team really respect those 2 guys.
Well, that's very important. What are your weak links? What are you worried about that could hurt your season, other than, the typical injuries?
Right. We've seen a couple of instances so far this year. Defense has been a little bit of a concern. And it's actually been a little better than what some of it expected as far as the outfield with Myers and Roman center field and Kemp and with his quote-unquote bad hips and right and Numpton and left.
Right.
Actually, between the 3 of them, there's only been 1 error made. So that was a great surprise. Obviously, you can see things in defense that don't show up in errors and things like that as far as problems. But the defense really has been a concern.
Right.
And actually, not just the infield, but some of the plug-and-play infield guys have made some dumb mistakes. And then lately, it's been base running. We've had a couple base running blunders that have kind of caused problems, but we've been able to bounce back from most of them with our hitting, which is great. And we knew we were going to trade maybe some defense for some hitting this year. And San Diego, after all we've been through, we'll take it.
Yeah, no. In fact, we have what we call the baseball PhD index. We rank each team in batting, pitching, and fielding. Then we combine the scores. So if you were first in all three categories, your score would be 3. And the lower the score, the better. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Right now, San Diego is tied for second in hitting in the major leagues. Never saw that before. For pitching, they're 4th. And what you said, in fielding, they're 25th. They'd really be,
right.
They'd be like the old Oakland A's or so, or even the San Francisco Giants if the fielding was up there. But I would make a trade with the devil. You guys always needed offense, and you got it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've been starved for offense for a lot of years, and we've been waiting for the days of Adrian Gonzalez to come back, and even before him, with Klesko, Nevin, Gwynn, those days just.
Yeah, they're not coming
like
back.
Distant memories.
No, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and although I do see Jim Brown walking around, he doesn't look the same anymore. He's like 70. He's not coming back either. So Adrian Gonzalez, he's a Dodger. They got the big TV money and all that stuff. And for our baseball PhD listeners, San Diego and LA are not that far apart. In fact, just when like Matt Kent is teaching you to hate the Dodgers, they're talking this trash talk of building a single football stadium for like the Chargers and that. It's like, wait, we're not supposed to like LA. You want us to share a football stadium with them? So it's like a tale of two cities.
It really is. And even worse, they're going to try to make us share it with the Raiders of all people.
Yeah, I mean, that's just that's bizarro land, but that's why football is not baseball. Petco Park, I've been there. It's beautiful, but warn our listeners, if you go in June and you show up just in a tank top and shorts, what's the probability you're going to be cold for a night game?
Pretty good. That marine layer can roll in and around first pitch, and you get to the 6th or 7th inning, it can get pretty cold with that ocean breeze, because it feels good in the summer during the day, but it's the same breeze at night, and it can get cold. It can drop down below 55 sometimes.
That was my biggest shock when I went there. People were dressed like it was September in Cleveland. Meanwhile, the people in Cleveland are sweating like crazy, and I'm sending text messages back saying, well, I'm in America's finest city, but I'm cold. I should have brought a coat. So it is amazing. But the thing that makes you guys America's finest city is that when December and January come, it never gets like 10 below, does it?
Oh, no. It'll stay. I haven't seen a day in downtown San Diego get below 45.
Right. And that's like the apocalypse, okay?
Right.
At the end of the world, it's going to be 44 in San Diego, and it'll be negative 44 in New York City as we're getting our comeuppance. What's your favorite part of Petco Park? Do you have a favorite part?
Oh, man, that's tough. I've sat almost everywhere in the stadium.
What do you call the part in right field where the people in the box seats are looking out and it looks like they're kind of like in a picnic ground and they're kind of standing? I mean, was that designed for just like kids and parents to watch the kids play and they can look through a clear fence at the game?
Yeah, so in right center field there's a bleacher sandbox kind of setting, and even behind the bleachers there's a hill where you can sit. We call it Park of the Park. And you can pay under $10 for normal games. Sometimes it's a little bit more expensive. But you can bring your family. And then behind the batter's eye is a huge TV where you can watch the game if for some reason you're seated at a part where you can't really see the game that well.
Right.
And then, there's bleachers. You pay, again, maybe under $15. And, the kids can go play in the sandbox. And it's a real fun fan experience. Actually, I would like to say that that's probably one of my favorite parts about the park is that area where you can lay out a beach towel and lay down and watch a baseball game, and then right there also we have Randy Jones Barbecue with some of the best hot dogs I've ever had. So that's a real fun part of the ballpark right there. If anyone ever wants to go to Petco, definitely visit around right center field.
No, I agree. In fact, when I first went to Petco, Nick, I couldn't find Petco. I'm looking for a ballpark. Finally, I look to the heavens and I go, show me the lights. And there's the lights. I'm walking toward the lights. And then you get to a nice ballpark like in granite or whatever that sandstone is. And it's like, this is Petco. I mean, it doesn't look like a typical ballpark. It's sophisticated San Diego.
Yeah, it kind of meshes with the rest of Metro downtown. And you kind of have to look hard, especially when you're on the freeway. You can't really see it until you exit.
Right. No, I agree. And lastly, let's talk about going to see the Padres on a Sunday. Why should every American experience that?
Oh, my goodness. Well, first of all, those are the best uniforms in baseball. The camouflage,
right.
I absolutely love it. And San Diego, we're very proud of our Navy and just military presence, and one of the biggest Navy towns in the country. And we really, really love our troops and support them. And it's one of the best military towns out there, and we always love to show our love and support for them. And every Sunday, it's just a spectacle to watch, veterans and current service members, watching the game.
Right.
Awesome.
It's a goosebump moment sitting with Patriots, also having the opportunity to watch Major League Baseball together.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just, if you're American, you want to feel an American spirit.
Right.
It is at Petco Park on a Sunday afternoon.
No, I agree. And that's a nice hidden secret for everyone east of the Mississippi. You don't have to go to Nationals Park. If you want kind of like a little flavor of the Army-Navy game, head to San Diego on a Sunday, watch some great baseball, cheer against the Dodgers, remind Matt Kemp that he is the man. And Nick Lee, thank you for being on Baseball PhD.
Hey, it was an honor. Thank you so much, Ed. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to Baseball PhD with Ed Casputis. If you like this podcast, tell your friends and family to go to baseballphd.net.